Hey, so you're thinking about making a move here to Utah, but you need to know a little bit more information about it. Today, we're going to be talking about 5 things that you need to know in order to make your move out here to Utah, and we're going to hop into it right now. Mariah Koehle here. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if this is your very first time here. This channel is literally everything you need to know about eating, working, playing, sleeping, and living in the Salt Lake City, Utah area. If that is of interest to you, consider subscribing down below so you don't miss our weekly videos. We hear from people like you all the time who are looking to make a move or relocating here to Utah, and we absolutely love it. So if you are thinking about making a move out here, please feel free to give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email, and it would be our pleasure to connect with you. So I am sure you have probably heard by now, but Utah is gaining a lot of popularity with out-of-state buyers and with actually really people moving here and relocating to Utah. And I've had a lot of friends and I've had a lot of clients ask me like, hey, well, I know, like, why did you end up moving here? And what are some of the pros and what are some of the things that you've seen here? So today we're going to just go ahead and we're going to talk about 5 things about why people are moving here and 5 things that you might be of interest to you to know. So number 1, here in Utah, the unemployment rate is low. It's actually one of the lowest states. It's tied with a few other, but it is below 3% unemployment rate. Last I checked, it was 2.9%, but very, very low unemployment. There are a lot of job opportunities here in Utah, and because of that, a lot of people are making a move out this way. You've got the Silicon Slopes, which are right in Lehi, Utah, which is a big hub for startup companies and has drawn in a lot of people from all over. You've got right in Lehi, you've got Visa, you've got Facebook, you've got Vivint, you've got just all these big time companies that are moving here to Utah because of the job opportunities. And so number 1 is definitely going to be just that low unemployment rate. I know it is fun when you go different places too. You will see a lot of younger kids. You've got 16, 17, 18-year-olds that are working at a lot of the fast food restaurants around here. You've got a lot of people who are just eager to work. So low unemployment, definitely number 1. Number 2, going along with low unemployment, Utah, number 2, in my opinion, is the startup haven. I have met more entrepreneurs, more small business owners than I think I did in all of my time living in California. There are so many startup companies here. There are a lot of incentives for small businesses to bring their business out here to Utah. And just even with the flat tax rate that Utah has here, which is 4.95%, and some of the surrounding states around Utah, you've got, much higher tax rates and adjustable rates depending on, where your tax bracket is. But no matter what you make, whatever, here in Utah, it is just a flat tax. So for some people, that is a big incentive. For other people, they might want to go to a surrounding state. But for Utah, that is a big driver and a big incentive for people to move this way. Number 3 is going to be the accessibility that is here in Utah with the Salt Lake International Airport. Now, the Salt Lake International Airport is a big hub. It's actually Delta's hub. And so there are 2 terminals in the Salt Lake City Airport. There's, Terminal A and Terminal B, or 1 and 2. And basically one of the terminals primarily has the, just the Delta Airlines in it, and the other one has the majority of the others. But this is a big hub getting, internationally, and a lot of people here love to travel And kind of going along with the jobs, yes, there are a lot of jobs here, but we know lots of people that have jobs here, but then they have to travel for work. And the international airport is very accessible, very close, 10 minutes outside to the west of downtown Salt Lake City. If you are more in Utah County, depending on where you are at, for example, if you're in Lehi, it's going to take you about 25 minutes to get to that airport. It's easy to get in, it's easy to get out, but just the accessibility to the airport, I know, is a big draw for a lot of people, especially in the Salt Lake City area. I know we've had friends that have moved down to St. George, Utah, and a lot of people that move down to St. George move there for very different reasons than they are moving to Salt Lake City. But one of the complaints that I hear of people that end up moving to St. George are like, oh, I just wish there was an airport that was closer by, because most times if you're in St. George, you're going to probably use the Las Vegas airport, and that's about an hour and a half away. So, it's fine. But here in Salt Lake City, you've got the international airport that is very close. Number 4 in the 5 things, kind of need to know before moving here to Utah is we have a 4 seasons here, 4 seasons really of recreation here in Utah. And it's funny, I was just talking to a friend of mine who moved to Texas not that long ago from Utah. She grew up here in Utah. Utah's really what she knows, but she ended up getting married, and her husband's job is in, Texas. So they ended up moving to Texas, and they've only been there a couple of months, but already she's like, oh, I'm missing the change of seasons. Oh, I can't wait for winter to have, all these different things that here in Utah. And I know lots of people have their favorite season, and lots of times people are like, oh, fall is for sure my favorite season here in Utah because of the change of colors, and the air is a little bit more crisp, but it still stays, it's just a nice time of year. But then you've got the skiers and snowboarders and the avid, people that love the snow are like, definitely winter is my favorite here because the epic snow and just all that goes along with the winter sports. And I had a family that recently moved out here and relocated out here, and they were like, summer, Mariah, summer is my absolute favorite because we're bike riding, we're hiking, we are, doing all these different things with our family. We're going to the pond, we're kayaking and canoeing and all those different outdoor recreational activities. So really each of the seasons here brings a whole new element. And in fact, my kids the other day were just saying, Mommy, how many more months until winter? And I'm like, oh, I don't know, maybe, a few more months, I guess. And one of my kids was just saying, like, I cannot wait to be back on skis again. I can't wait to go skiing. And the other one's like, oh, I can't wait to go sledding. And so just all those different things, there really are 4 seasons of recreation. And this is interesting. I had some family I was helping recently find a place in Park City, and they were talking about, they were like, this house will be our second home, and we're really looking for this house. We're really looking for the winter and the summer months to use it. And I'm thinking, like, winter and summer are incredible, but I'm like, fall and spring, like in Park City, are absolutely gorgeous too. So really you can't go wrong with the 4 seasons here in Utah and the recreation. Last but not least, number 5 on 5 things that you should know before moving here to Utah. Number 5 is actually called the Mighty 5. I don't know if you've ever heard of this before, but the Mighty 5 are the 5 national parks that are here in Utah, and just the proximity that Salt Lake City has to those 5 national parks. You've got Arches, you've got Bryce Canyon, you've got Canyonlands, you've got Capitol Reef, and you've got Bryce Canyon. So between all of those different national parks, it is, just amazing to be able to be so close to these national parks. I know it's fun when we have taken our kids to the national parks. Our kids each have a little passport that they go, a national parks passport, and each time they go and they get it stamped, they love it. They think it is so fun, and they'll be like, hey, where's my passport? And they go get them stamped. But just the proximity that you are from Salt Lake to those mighty five, and those 5 national parks, Arches, Canyonlands, Zion, Capitol Reef, and Bryce Canyon, those are all in southern Utah. So those are all in southern Utah. And I know we've taken a couple of, national park tours, and we've actually gone to Zion, and then we've gone over to Moab. Zion's really pretty close to the St. George, Utah area. And then we've gone over to Moab, and we've done Canyonlands, and then we've also done Arches National Park, because those are pretty close together. And then Bryce Canyon and Capitol Reef, those are about an hour away from each other. So you could really do those 2 together. You can kind of combine depending on like the weekend that you're going, or the week, like if you want to combine a few parks together. Those are really fun. And then those are our mighty 5 down in Utah, but really there are a couple other national parks that are within 4.5, 5 hours from Salt Lake City too. And that's Yellowstone National Park and the Grand Tetons. And Yellowstone, we've been several times. My mother-in-law actually used to work there when she was a kid. And so she has all these nostalgic memories. And every time we talk about Yellowstone, she's like, oh my goodness, I remember I worked in the visitor center and I actually gave tours. And, she just talked about all these different things that she did. But we took our kids not that long ago to Yellowstone again. And I feel like every time we go, we see different things that we never had seen before. So I had mentioned that I had talked to my uncle and my aunt recently, and I'm like, hey, yeah, we're going to Yellowstone. And they're like, we were just there. I said, okay, what else do we need to see at Yellowstone? They were like, for sure you need to go see the Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone. I was like, what? Grand Canyon of Yellowstone? We had never seen that part before, and yet we had been there several times. So this time we went, and the waterfalls were just spectacular. And the short little hikes that you could get just to the viewpoints and to see some of those things were great for all ages, very family friendly, wheelchair accessible for things. So a really, just a real treat having those national parks so close to Salt Lake City and just to those different areas around. So if you are thinking about making a move out here to Utah or relocating, like I said, in a month, in 6 months, in a year from now, please feel free to give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. And if you tell us a couple of things that you are looking for specifically, and we can pinpoint, the neighborhood, we can pinpoint different places. If you tell us what you are looking for, then we can find a great fit for you. So feel free to give us a call, and we would love to connect with you. Take care and have a great one. Bye.